Assalamu alaikum guys, I am ARK. By this video we are gonna actually start our course of programming, and in this video we will be seeing some behind the scenes, and we will also see the reason for picking Python as the demonstration language, and we will also perform the developer ritual. So let's get started. If this is the first video you are watching from this playlist, then I would request you to watch the previous videos too. We have discussed some important things over there, and we've also set up the environment for programming in those videos, so I would recommend you to set it up too. Let's see some important points to recall from those videos. We are not going to discuss everything from those videos, but we will just recall some important points which you should know before starting this video. The computer is dumb. Computer can't understand our language, and to make computer understand our language we need to code in some programming language, and it can't even understand that language. Our source code need to be translated through an intermediate software named as compiler or interpreter based on the language. Even compiler and interpreters can't understand our language. They understand our source code based on some keywords. So we use some language according to the language's syntax just to provide the keywords to the compiler or interpreter, and they will translate our code to computer understandable language, that is 0101 or binary language or machine code, whatever you call it. There are several steps included in the translation we are talking about, that is the source code to machine code translation. But we are not studying compiler design subjects, so we will not get that deeper into it. We will just have a basic understanding about it. There is a step in our compilation process after the pre-processing where our code is scanned for the tokens, for the keywords, where all the known things to a language, that is the grammar of that language, is considered as tokens, and it is analyzed. So we are not interested in that analysis step. We just want to know that the keywords, constants, identifiers, strings, numbers, operators, and punctuation symbols, that is comma, brackets, and all that, are considered to be as tokens in this step. So we need to be strict while writing these, that is keywords, constants, identifiers, strings, numbers, operators, and punctuation symbols, so that we don't get any syntax errors. So that is it. So for example, we have here print hello world, and we also have here int a is equals to 10. I've taken C syntax because most of the students may be familiar with C, because every institute teaches C in the first year of the college. So in these two examples, print and int are treated as keywords, and a is obviously an identifier because it identifies a variable. We will know what is variable in further course. You can consider it as a name of something, a name of some container. So a is identifier, which is the name of some container which stores a data. 10 is treated as constant as it is unchangeable value, that is 10. We can't change anything in 10, that is 10, that is a number. And the hello world, that is our message, is treated as a string as it is a sequence of characters. Everything will make sense once we start our course and once we study data types and operators, but for now just understand these, that these are treated as these things and analyzed in the next step, that is semantic analysis. The next step is semantic analysis. That is all we needed to know about this topic. These are the things we need to keep in mind while we are coding. And let me now show you the reasons why I chose Python as our demonstration language of this course. Why choose Python? The straightforward answer to this question is Python is easy to learn. Python is beginner friendly. That is, Python looks more like English, so beginners can easily adapt to it. And it is just code, just pure code, nothing scrap, like stdio.h, like public static void main, strings, args. There is nothing some rubbish code like this. It's just straightforward. So the next thing is Python has rich library. I don't need to specify this. Python has library for pretty much everything. We can do everything in Python, and there are lots of framework that supports Python. The main difference between library and framework is that in library we are the in charge, means we can import wherever we want, we can import the library and we can use it wherever we want. But in framework, the framework is in charge, we need to work as per the requirements of the framework. So you will get to know while using it what I am talking about. So the next reason is insane interest among the students. So whenever I ask any beginner about what do you want to be, or what do you want to do in your coding career, so he most of the beginners will answer that I want to become a pythoneer, I want to do machine learning, I want to do artificial intelligence, and I want to do it with python. So there is some insane amount of interest in python among the students, and it is high paying, it is high demand and high paying skill to have in your resume. And we have conducted an Instagram poll few days ago. So Python was ranked second in it. The first one was Java. We are not considering Java because it is purely object-oriented programming language, and many beginners may struggle while understanding it. So we are going with Python. And the next reason is my soft corner towards the language. I am also a Pythoneer, and I love to work in Python when compared to the other language. I like JavaScript too, and JavaScript is also easy to learn and beginner friendly and no scrap code. But we are going with Python because I have some soft corner towards the Python, and JavaScript and Python are pretty much the same. Except the fact that Python is strongly typed and JavaScript is weakly typed. I have already explained these terms in my previous video. You can watch it. So these are the reasons. The white ones are not so important because I don't consider them important, and the orange ones, or whatever the color that is, those are important. So this is why we are considering Python. And get your IDs ready. You can set it up by watching my previous video, the first video of this playlist probably. And let's get started and let's perform the developer ritual. We will try to keep all our files in a separate folder, so I'll just create a folder. I just want to create a new folder on desktop, and just write practice, and I'll just move this web practice to this practice, and let's create another folder in the practice folder named as Python practice. And obviously you can right click and open with code, but obviously we will open it using the VS Code because most of you may have not enabled that feature. I'm saying obviously again and again because we have already done the same things in our web development course. You can check it out if you are interested in web development, or else you can just continue with us with this programming course. So we need to go to this open folder and go to desktop, search for practice, go to web practice, and oh sorry, go to Python practice and select the folder. So my laptop is really slow. Let the extensions load. I'll just cut the loading part of extensions. So now let's create a new file named as hello.py. You can name it anything, the first Python program or anything you want. I will name it as hello.py. So as I said, there is no scrap code in Python. You just have to start coding right away. We'll write print hello world. And note that I'm always saving my file using Ctrl plus S, and you should also do that if you don't want any problems in running your code. and you can just go to code runner. In the previous video I have hello world. So we were going to perform the ritual wrong, but we noticed it. So in the previous video where we have learned how to set up the environment, we have also installed this extension in that video. So you would probably see code runner here, and if you don't see, then you can always go to extension and search for code runner and install it. It is really helpful. So we can come here and we can just press and run python code in terminal. So as you can see, hello world is printed on our console. We have written our first program in python, and we have officially started our course. So that is it for the video, guys. If you find this video helpful, then don't forget to like it, and don't hesitate to share it with your friends, and subscribe my channel for staying tuned. I'll see you in the next video.